Assalamualaikum to society as our represented lecturer in this subject. Today, me and my group gonna present about timber floor finishes, which is plank. Before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Azim Bisafto, and this is my group member, which is Aaron Bobby is my leader, Abdul Lakid bin Abdul Razak, and Akmal Daniel bin Petri.
So before I continue my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sharon Quentin Bobby. So I will talk about plank. Basically, what is plank? Commonly used in construction and woodworking. Plank timbers are rectangular pieces of wood. Plank wood is adaptable for use as flooring, decking, paneling, furniture, and structural elements because of its range size, wood species, and finishes. It is a popular option for producing strong and aesthetically pleasing surface, both indoors and outdoors, due to its length, unique grain patterns, and range of finishes. Considerations including the intended use, personal taste in design, and financial limitations influence the choice of plank wood.
Before continuing my presentation, I will introduce myself. My name is Akmal Daniel bin Petri, and I'll be explaining about design in wood planks. Before choosing your desired design of wood planks, you can encounter a number of elements such as type of wood, grain pattern, width and length, surface treatment, pattern, and layout. All of that can affect the overall appearance of the wood plank design. And it's also important to take note about the environment and the space that you will install the wood plank. Next, there are four types of wood that I can suggest before consider choosing the right type of wood for you, which is mahogany, teak, walnut, and oak wood. It's crucial to remember that this type of wood has different character and quality depending on your need. Next, I will talk about grain pattern. There are a variety of grain pattern that you can choose from depending on your budget. Grain pattern can affect the overall aesthetic of your flooring. The way the wood is cut also influence the look of the grain. Then I will talk about width and length. Obviously, wood planks come in various widths from narrow to wide. For classic and traditional look, you can choose planks that are 2 to 4 inches wide. This day, the standard for wood plank is 4 to 5 inches wide. After that, length. Longer length can create a more seamless appearance, while shorter planks can create a different look in smaller room. After that, surface treatment. Wood surface need to be protected from water and climate changes. These are some of the products that are commonly used, such as polyurethane finish, oil finish, wire brush finish, matte finish, and lastly, hand scrape finish. Moreover, pattern and layout. You can get creative with pattern and layout, such as herringbone, where planks are installed at 90 degrees angle to form a V shape that are usually used in classic and traditional design. Other than that, diagonal pattern where planks are installed 45 degree can make a room feel larger. And lastly, the most famous is straight pattern, which is the basic and the easiest one to install.
In my part, I'm gonna explain about delivery, handling, and storage of timber floor finishes. The successful delivery, handling, and storage of timber floor finishes like parquet, plank, or strip are crucial to preserving the quality and integrity before installation. First, delivery. Protection during transportation. Ensure adequate protection from moisture, extreme temperature, and physical damage during transit. Proper packaging and handling minimize the risk of scratch, dent, or warping. Next, handling. Careful unloading, use appropriate equipment and handling techniques to prevent damage. Handling instruction. Follow the manufacturer guidelines for handling specific type of timber finishes to avoid compromising the structural integrity. And lastly, storage. Climate controlled environment store timber finishes in a controlled environment to prevent exposure to excessive moisture, direct sunlight, or extreme temperature. Maintain consistent humidity level to prevent expansion or contraction.
So I will talk about preparatory works. It is to ensure a smooth and long-lasting result. A number of preparatory works are necessary before diving into the complex process of applying finishes to plank timber floors. During the preparatory stages, careful planning and execution are critical to the success of any timber floor finish implementation. We define the essential groundwork in this guide, which forms the basis for obtaining superior plank timber floor finishes. So the first one we got subfloor inspection and preparation. It is to conduct a thorough examination of the subfloor to identify any structural issues, moisture problems, or irregularities. And it is also to ensure that the subfloor is clean, level, and adequately dry before proceeding with any finish application. So the next one is acclimation of timber planks. It is allow the timber planks to acclimate to the environment in which they will be installed. This helps prevent issues such as warping or expansion after the installation. The third step is sanding and surface preparation. So we can begin with sanding the timber surface to create a smooth and even base. So this process removes imperfections, rough spots, and any existing finishes. So the fourth one is layout planning. It is to plan the layout of the plank timber installation, taking into account the room shape, natural light sources, and aesthetic preference. And it is also to consider starting the installation from the center of the room for balanced and visually appealing result. And the fifth one is moisture barrier installation. It is to install a moisture barrier if the subfloor is in direct contact with the ground or is susceptible to moisture. And the next one is room preparation. It is to remove baseboards, trim, and doors to facilitate a seamless installation against wall, and to ensure that the room is clear of furniture and obstacles to allow for an efficient and uninterrupted installation process. And last but not least, the safety measures. It is to adhere to safety protocols during the installation process, including the use of personal protective equipment and proper ventilation if using adhesives.
Next part, installation of timber floor finishes. Plank installation requires accuracy and adherence to particular methods specific to each type. There are three steps to install the plank. The installment need to be done correctly. First, adhesive application. Apply specialized adhesive directly to the subfloor or other element following manufacturer guidelines. Next, precise placement. Carefully install plank tiles to ensure accurate pattern, alignment, and interlock to keep the spacing between tiles constant. User spaces. Weight and pressing. Using weight instrument or ruler, evenly apply pressure to the installed tiles to guarantee correct adherence to the subflow. Before the installment, it is really important to check the alignment consideration because easy to create a uniform appearance. Make sure that each piece of aligns straight and has a consistent gap between it. For visual appeal, layout and alignment must be done with meticulous attention to detail. In installation of plank, you need the professional craftsman. It is because the plank has such intricate pattern installing it requires a certain level of professionalism. If you want to install the plank or other timber finishes, think about hiring seasoned installers who understand the unique needs. Apart from that, following manufacturer guidelines is really very important because regarding the installation techniques, adhesive tools, and environmental factor. Lastly, finishing. After all the installment and all the installation of plank timber floor finishes, you need to trimming and edging finish the installation by cutting the edges and making sure the transition to the wall all or other surface is smooth and clean up to get the installed floor ready for later finishing or sealing. Remove any extra glue, dust, or debris.
So now I will talk about protection. Protecting timber floor finishes is crucial for maintaining their aesthetic appeal, durability, and longevity. Here are several key measures and tips for effectively protecting timber floor finishes. So the first one is avoid high heels and sharp objects. To encourage a shoes-off policy to minimize the risk of abrasive dirt and rocks scratching the floor. Next one is regular cleaning. Implement a regular cleaning routine using a soft damp mop or a vacuum cleaner with a soft brush attachment. Next one is furniture pads. It is to attach felt or rubber pads to the bottom of furniture legs to prevent scratches and dents when moving or repositioning furniture. And the next one is area rugs and mats. To place area rugs or mats in high traffic areas, especially near entryways and in front of frequently used furniture. Next one is protective coating. It is to consider applying additional protective coatings such as floor wax or polish as recommended by the manufacturer. And the last but not least is temperature and environment. To limit exposure to direct sunlight, which can cause discoloration or fading over time. Use curtains or blinds to shield the floor from intense sunlight.
My name is Abdulakit bin Abdul Razak, and today I will talk about defect and rectifications. So, defect in timber floor finish can arise from various factors, including installation issues, environmental condition, or simply wear and tear over time. Rectifying those defects is essential to maintain the aesthetic appeal and structural integrity of the floor. So today, I would like to talk about the defect and the rectification from the all of the floor finishes that we know. So there are few defects and rectification I would like to explain or I would like to present today. First, I would like to present about the scratches. After that, I would like to explain or present about Freddy. And then I would like to talk about gaps between bots. After that is cubing. And lastly, I will talk about dents and indentation. So let's proceed with our present for today. First, I would like to talk about is scratches. So the reason why scratches is happen because by the furniture movement or pet clothes or abrasive dirt. So how to how to fix it when it happens? It can be fixed by address with a touch-up marker or wax. And for deeper scratches, it also can be fixed by consider sanding and refinishing the affected area. After that, I would like to present or talk about fading. So the reason fading is happen because the exposed exposure to sunlight for too long. The floor finishes that exposed for to the sunlight, it will become more fade and it will make the floor finishes more fading. So how to fix it when it happen is by minimize the sunlight exposure using certain or blinds. And in extreme cases, we can also sanding and refinishing can restore the color. We also can restore the color if it's already happened, and we also can using the curtain or blinds to prevent the fading from happen. After That is the gaps and between. The cause of the gaps in between is because the change in humidity causing wood to expand and contract. The humidity is also the most important thing when it comes to flow finishes. Flow finishes. The changes can cause the gaps and between, and it will cause the wood to expand and to contract at the same time. So how do we need to overcome this situation? So in some cases, the gaps may close naturally with changes in humidity. If persistent, filter strips or wood putty can be used to fill the gaps. So if it's already happened, the only way we need to do is by filler strips or wood putty. It can be used to fill the gaps that already open up because of the humidity and the expand. After that is I would like to talk about the cuping. So what is caused by the cuping? The cuping caused by the moisture of imbalance on the floor of the surface. So if the moisture are imbalance on the floor of the face, the space of the surface will become more cuping and it will cause the imbalance on the floor. So how do we overcome this situation? We can overcome it by identify and rectify the moisture source. And sometimes the flow may self-correct with moisture balance restoration. In several cases, replacement of affected boards may be necessary. So we replace the board or we can or the floor can be self-correct with the moisture balance restoration. Lastly, I would like to talk about is dents and indentation. So the cause of dents and indentation is because of heavy furniture, high heels, or drop object. There are many more causes such as drop things, things that uh, things that when we move a few furniture in the house, it will can become dent because the roughness of the furniture can cause the dent of to the floor finishes. So, how do we overcome this situation when it comes to dents and indentation? So, for minor dents, we can use a damp cloth and a hot iron to steam the wood fiber back into places. The minor dents can be damp cloth, and we using the damp cloth and a hot iron so that we steam the floor, and then it will come back into place. And for deeper dents, we consider wood filler and followed by sanding and refinishing. We can, if the damp cloth and a hot iron doesn't do a thing or doesn't help it, we can consider it as a deeper dents, and we can consider to do a wood filler and will followed by sanding and refinishing. So that's all about what I would like to present today. And in summary, playing timber for floor finishes invite us to participate in the visual orchestra of design. The invitation is walk through areas where the artistry of our choice provides cushioning for each step. When skillfully complete, each plank becomes a chapter in the tale of a house. It is made with deliberate choices, exudes classic elegance, and bears witness to the everlasting appeal of black timber floor finishes. That's all from us. Thank you.
This-
Oh.